Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about the importance of men. But first, let me say, check out my podcast, Crazy Feminist Podcast 1 and 2. It's not with crazy feminists. It's about crazy feminists. And I just talk about various issues and play various videos. So you might be interested. We're still perfecting the format, but I appreciate the support. So let me talk about the importance of men, because I believe it is lost upon our culture and our civilization. In other words, one of the outstanding virtues and values of men to civilization is that they're disposable. They don't make a big deal about their importance. So literally, the importance of men is lost upon the civilization. And we're experiencing that right now. Our civilization is suffering for it, our society, our culture, and the individual men are suffering for it. And, that's what I'm concerned with. So, let me just talk about a few of the important areas concerning the importance of men. Now, one of the most important areas of men, and this is for everyone involved, is that without a male presence in the raising of children, the children don't know how to function in the world effectively, except through their emotions. And this is a terrible way for a man to try to get through in the world. This is a really difficult way for a woman to try to get by in the world, right? How do you balance your checkbook based on emotions? You don't do it. How do you have a budget based on your emotions? Well, you could emotionally manipulate people into paying your bills, into, providing you with resources. And largely, this is a female way. Men can't get away with it. Young men, children, dependents can get away with it, but not for long. So the children need to learn that this is the real way to get by in the world. Not on your emotions, but based on your work, on your deeds, often putting your emotions aside, and that this is discipline. This is self-discipline. And there's this balance, and men demonstrate that. Effective men can demonstrate that to the children. So without the man in the household to teach the boy how to grow up to be a man, and to teach the girl how to interact with a man and how to behave around men, and to understand the value so that she can move forward in life and treat men with respect and, and treat herself with respect as well, it's lost. You end up with generations of special snowflakes, social justice warriors, people who need safe spaces, people who are getting triggered by your freedom of expression, right? So they're going to pitch a fit. They're going to have an emotional breakdown in the middle of a college classroom based on you expressing your opinion that doesn't agree with them. So it's this attack on freedom, all right? And I'm associating it with, being a man, but it is just associated with being a strong individual. There are other effects, biological effects. The young women go into puberty a year early, without a male presence in the household, because they're gearing up towards getting by in the world without a set of masculine skills, with just feminine skills. So the body knows this, and, it prepares itself. Difficult life, isn't it? So that's one of the reasons. Number two, despite the fact that society benefits by seeing men as disposable, despite the fact that men benefit by seeing themselves as disposable in many instances, in other words, it's one of his resources that he is fearless, okay, that he will do things that nobody else will do. Men value that. They recognize that there's a place, that there's a reason for it. Despite the fact that it benefits the women to treat men and to have men see themselves in this light. Don't the mothers want to see their sons have a decent life? Don't the women in the world want to see the men have a halfway decent life? Or do they want to see them suffer and sacrifice? Because it is their role to be disposable, to be a servant, to sacrifice. And I have a special message to men who believe this. And there's great truth in it. Right? This is why the entire animal kingdom overpopulates with men. Right? It's like the compassion that the mother spider feels for all of, the male baby spiders. She doesn't. They blow away in the wind. Okay, there's a reason why. There's so many of them. But don't the women, don't the mothers, don't the sisters want to see the men in their society do something other than suffer? Great point, about the movie Titanic. The best part of the movie for the men is when the man and the woman are making love. The best part of the movie for the women is at the end, when the man gives up his life and sacrifices his life for her, meaninglessly. That's the demonstration of his love to her. That's her favorite part in the movie. It's one of the most popular movies ever, right? I didn't like it. Sorry. So let's move on. Third reason for the importance of men. Men build civilization, society, the institutions, the buildings, the technology, the framework, the institutions, the laws, the ideas. Men build those things. The bridges, the plumbing systems, the electrical systems, the informational networks. Men build those things. Men invent the tools that enable us to build those things. Women don't do that. Some women are capable of it. Women are capable of doing these types of things if they really want to, but in the end, they don't really want to. They prefer to have children and to be taken care of like a princess, right? It doesn't even work if the woman is extremely wealthy and well off and then, gets artificially inseminated and has children. So I was talking about, right? So even if you elevate women to this, ridiculous place in society where they have all of the high-paying jobs, and we're moving towards that, okay? And they artificially inseminate themselves, it still does not fulfill their biological desire to be taken care of, their need, this idea that they're a princess, okay? It doesn't work. You'd think it would allow them to fulfill just this basic biological function, but it won't, because they're trying to fill the male role. Now, men being pushed out of this role is not the worst thing in the world, right? It gives men a chance to examine the situation for what it is. You have to be careful what you're willing to sacrifice yourself for, what you're willing to give yourself over to as a man. Now, another aspect of this, and it also sheds light on this aspect of it, is that no matter what kind of training the woman receives, she wants to quit by the time she's 35 so that she can have children. And as I said, the simple act of having a child, it's not going to fulfill the full hormonal, biological expectation of getting together with a man, having a child, and then, having the man protect and provide while she takes care of that aspect of the nest. Because that's what it is. It's human beings acting out this basic biological function. And it works, but it doesn't work in this day and age. It doesn't work with women the way they're acting now. And it's because, they've wanted to put the women into the male role, at least socially, with equal rights. How can you have equal rights between things that are unequal? Now, can you treat them both the same? Can they both be, yes, you can treat them. You can't even treat them the same. That's the whole thing. One of them wants to build a future and has no problem fighting and struggling and putting aside their own feelings and overcoming obstacles. The other one wants to have children, wants to be looked after, needs to be looked after, needs to be protected, needs to be secure, needs to not get upset emotionally. The other one thrives on that sort of stuff, has no problem with it. So what are you doing? And this is it's driving the wedge between the male and the female. As politically incorrect as it is for me to say it, right? The female role is a submissive, subordinate role. And then her needs become the needs of the male. And he provides and protects, and he sacrifices for it. This is why, okay, if the queen cheats, it's an act of treason against the state, okay? But if the king cheats, it's a bastard child that cannot inherit. See, I can't even say the word anymore, right? Because we don't do that anymore. He can't even inherit what the man has built. And women want to be the same as men. You can't be. Not unless, you're biologically a man. Men and women are the same. Well, they can be treated the same socially, legally, with laws and, human dignity, but they are not the same. And there is this importance on both sides. You need the male side of this equation. You really do, right? You don't want 300 million dependents on welfare. You don't want it. It won't work. And then, corporations aligned with the government and the media running all of it, based on emotional manipulation, based on women's wants and needs, on scared women and children's wants and needs. You don't want to build that kind of a future, and that's what we're doing. So, honestly, to build your culture, society, civilization, company, anything based around the wants and needs of women, you can't be competitive. You are taking care of these, biological wants and emotional needs that don't adapt and deal with reality. Taking care of and building up the men in your society makes you extremely competitive, extremely intelligent, builds institutions that serve, the functions of the people. Freedoms are protected, security is protected, the future and prosperity are secured. And then the women are the females, doesn't even have to be people. Once those conditions are met, the females, they start giving birth. The men start feeling like, doing other stuff. They start exploring and building even more stuff. And this works with, animal husbandry as well. So just a few things to consider concerning the importance of men. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.